this will kind of conclude the Road to 220 series. Just a little kind of recap of what's gone on so far. I'm in lovely California. I'm coming back to Cali. I'm actually already here, but so far so good. I got to catch up with a couple of friends. I got to meet some new people. Met Steve Chintilli today. Got to catch up with Andy Wang and my boy Keegan. And not too. I'll probably catch up with Jesse Burdick a little bit later, but I got to say hello to him. He was kind of on his way out when I was checking my weight. But a couple of things in preparation for making weight. As if you guys have been following the series, I kind of started, around 240 or so. The majority of the training cycle, especially like the latter half, most of the training cycle was probably around 235. The beginning of the training cycle was closer to 240. And the last week or so, my weight kind of dropped suddenly, and I was kind of sitting mostly at 230 in the morning, which was kind of alarming, kind of whatever. I wanted to kind of stay more at 235, but at least it'll be making the weight a little bit easier. So I did some water loading. So you could check out my buddy Izzy Navarez. He has a site, Powerlifting to Win. It's a great resource just in general, but he has a great kind of guide on water cutting and water manipulation. And again, I like to kind of reiterate, it's not we're not really advocating big weight cuts, but I want to just kind of showcase what I'm doing. And one of the reasons that I'm doing this, number one, I wanted to kind of just use this as a platform for me to get leaner, and I certainly accomplished that. For those that, at the time of this taping, I had been lowest DEXA scan ever, my first body fat reading under 20%, which was one of my kind of short-term goals. So I'm very happy about that. I've never been under 20% probably in my life, maybe out of the womb, but who knows. And then my in-body's been about 20, so everything's been making good progress there. And lean mass has been pretty consistent. My muscle tissue's been pretty consistent on the reading, so I'm happy about that. So I was I was as light as I had one kind of weird weigh-in where it was 227, but in general I've been kind of sitting at 230. Did some water loading and sodium loading, but basically I just had a lot more water than normal, a lot more carbohydrate than normal, so I kind of really bumped up my glycogen, really bumped up my water intake, really bumped up my sodium intake. And the thought is to kind of trick your body into expelling more water than it needs, because it's thinking it's getting more, and then you kind of suddenly cut that water off. So I did that for a couple of days at the beginning of the week. I got as heavy as 237, which I was happy. So I'm hoping that I can get at least 235 on the platform once I kind of rehydrate and stuff. So we'll kind of see how that goes. So I ended up starting to kind of taper off your sodium, you taper off your water. The last 2 days I haven't had any carbs, so glycogen's going to store a lot of water. Another kind of great resource for this I've been trying to learn a lot from is George Lockhart. He's one of the people that works with Conor McGregor. He works with a lot of fighters in the UFC, and I think he's probably on the cutting edge of cutting weight, making weight, and also replenishing. So I've been trying to learn a lot from him. So there's different tips and tricks. I'm also going to kind of rethink my rehydration protocol a little bit. So he's talking about having the combination of dextrose and fructose and even caffeine, and you could kind of uptake more carbohydrates quicker. So there's a lot of different kind of benefits to that. So the more you can kind of rehydrate, and the quicker you can rehydrate, and the more full you could be, and the heavier you could be on the platform, whether it's raw, or equipped, it's going to help. And especially in my case, since I'm an equipped lifter, and I'm doing this meet equipped, having the suit fit properly is going to be key. So what I eat may be the most important thing. So actually rehydrating maybe be the most important thing, because the training cycle went well, honestly. The strength is there, but if the suit doesn't fit properly and the shirt doesn't fit properly, it doesn't really matter. I'm going to have to kind of adjust as we go. So I have some goals. I have some things in mind. It's also going to be a little bit of a higher pressure meet. I've never done a meet traveling before. I've never done a multiply meet at 220 before. I haven't been in a 220 class in probably over 10 years. I did one meet as a junior lifter at 220 raw, in just a belt with no knee sleeves or anything, completely raw. So I'm excited. I'm really excited. I feel really good. I feel lean. I had a little cramp in my hamstring. I was kind of practicing my bench setup, which is probably a stupid idea, being dehydrated. But so I kind of cut off my water today. I had a little caffeine. I had some egg yolks, so I didn't have any sodium today, and I cut off my water at this point. And I weighed about 225. after the plane ride and everything. So I'm probably take a couple hot baths and stuff like that. I'm not sure how much I'll update you guys for the time being, but I will kind of make another video for the weigh-in. I'll make some videos of me eating, catching up with the guys, which were great. But most important, I really want to just focus on having a good day and having fun. And ultimately, I'm really excited to kind of close this chapter and finally get back in 220 class and do my first equip meet, my first traveling meet. And I'm also going to be coaching a little bit, so maybe I'll kind of include some of that in the vlog as well. My buddy and distance teammate Mike Hernandez, he's a very accomplished 148 lifter, as one of the top bench pressers in the country in his weight class 148. I think he has the USPA national record, which is great. So he's a nationally ranked lifter at 148. So I'm going to be coaching as well, which is one of the many reasons why I kind of took this challenge. I appreciate you guys watching. I hope this is helping you guys. If definitely drop me some comments, and even more, shoot me an email or whatever if you have any questions or things like that. guygluearmstrong@gmail.com. But if you guys want to see more vlogs and more of my own personal training, if you feel like it's helpful, please let me know. Please subscribe for future content. So a quick update, I did a couple of hot baths to sweat a little bit. Also did some meal prep, just cooked some lean beef. I'm going to try and eat pretty, clean, kind of typical to what I normally eat for the contest, so that's not going to change too much. I'm probably going to head back to Combat Sports Academy, CSA, Jesse Burdick's gym, just to check my weight again, since I can use the official scale. I'm hoping I'm sure it'll still be open. I'm sure they're kind of getting situated and everything for weigh-ins tomorrow. Yeah, so I'm probably not gonna maybe lay out everything because a lot of stuff's in the car already and whatnot. But I'll do some video stuff while I'm eating, and it'll be very fun. That'll be exciting. So I'm not really sure what I weigh, but I'm guessing I'm a little closer to weight. I'm hoping the hot bath is interesting. A lot of people have been saying, especially Stan Efferding is a big advocate of the hot bath versus the sauna. Just because he feels the sauna kind of cooks you and can kind of zap your energy and can decrease your performance. I've had my best meet ever when I did a sauna weight cut. I went from 296 to 273. That was my biggest cut I've ever done. And I told 1950, and hopefully, knock on wood, I'm looking to top that this weekend. So stay tuned for that. But, I'm trying to learn, I'm trying to evolve and be better. And, sometimes these old school methods, they might work, but maybe there's a better way and there's a more optimal way. What I find, the hot bath is a little tricky because you have to get the temperature just right. If it's too hot, you can't even get in it. And if it's too cold, you're not going to sweat. So, you got to kind of find the right temperature. I don't know if anyone else has this problem, but I find that my feet really can't bear the heat. So sometimes I got to get my toes and my feet outside the tub and then get almost submerge my whole body as much as possible. But if you can get your upper back and shoulders kind of in the tub, my face would kind of start pouring. I only find that it's effective kind of for one use, and then the second time I kind of get in and it kind of cools down too much at that point. But I did 2 rounds of the hot baths, and I did 2 kind of sittings in each, but one was kind of really one meaningful sitting twice, and I get a good sweat going. So, and I could definitely see some that I'm kind of draining some of the water out. I'm not sure if I mentioned I didn't really eat too much today. I actually tried for the first time. I kind of learned this from, Laura from Naked and Afraid. I heard her on a podcast, and it made sense, but I actually ate some butter. It's just pure fat. There's no sodium. There's no carbs. It's not going to replenish glycogen. It's not going to, add sodium to kind of hold on to water. So I just wanted to get some calories in. So I had like a half stick of butter, like 4 ounces of butter, just to get some calories in me, and felt pretty good. And it's I feel like, I don't know, maybe I'm ketogenic or something, but I feel actually pretty good, even though I've been kind of more or less fasting the whole day. I had a protein shake in the morning with some coffee, so some caffeine I was to kind of use as a natural diuretic in the beginning of the morning, and also kind of help me get through the JFK security and all that good stuff. So just for planning on weighing in tomorrow, and then just kind of sipping water throughout the day. Got my noon tabs to replenish electrolytes. I got a lot of rice. I got some stuff. So basically, I'm trying to have things that are low fat, high carbohydrate. I'm going to work on some different things, also combining some fructose and dextrose and starchy carbs, and to kind of get the uptake of the glycogen that much faster. And I'm going to try and get my weight back up. Just got on the scale, the meat scale at Combat Sports Academy, 221.4. So a little over still. I also checked the kilos, so it's about 1.5 pounds, and then it's about 0.3, 0.4 kilos over. I'm going to double check what the top end of the weight class, but I'm pretty sure that Jesse's going to be measuring us in kilos, so that's obviously the more important measurement anyway. But on weight, I'll probably take another hot bath or two just to be safe, but there's a good chance I'll kind of float the rest of the weight even going in tomorrow morning. But we're getting close, so road to 220 is almost over. Pro tip. I think your last pro tip was the leaning station from my last meet, so you could check that out. Maybe my boy Elvis can even put a link in the description. Who knows? Joking aside, the sour gum trick is a really great trick, especially right now I'm just waiting to weigh in. It's giving me something to do. But basically I'm just chewing on this sour gum and spitting. You can see this is like a significant amount of water. So if you're like a 1/2 pound over or something, and obviously like right now we don't have access to a sauna or whatever, I could obviously crank the heat in the car if I wanted. Or a hot bath, that sort of thing. But if you're like kind of close or you're not sure, like for me, I got the opportunity to use the meat scale, but it's a little gross. I was doing this on the plane too. It's a little gross, but it's a good trick, and you can see, again, this is a significant amount of water. It's got to go somewhere. So I'm producing the sour gum. It's going to produce some more saliva. I think I first heard this from Brian Carroll, but we actually used to use a product called clench gum when we used to wrestle. And I think it had some electrolytes and some other things in, which, at this point, like I said, having, some, like there might be a little sugar in the gum and things like that. Whatever we kind of did, at this point, it's so close to the weigh-in, it doesn't really matter, if there's maybe a little bit of like nutrients and stuff in the gum. So it's just something to consider. So this is a really good kind of last option, like right before the weigh-in, for those that are like kind of close, especially. And, it's just, like I said, if you don't have the meat scale, it's kind of better to be safe than sorry. It doesn't really cost you much. I mean, you're just literally spitting in a cup. It's not like sometimes like the sauna or the hot bath can be pretty excruciating, but especially if it's really hot. But this is pretty painless, and it's a good kind of way to think. So I'm going to weigh in a little bit. I found a Safeway, which was fantastic. Oh, my God, I wish I shopped there first because I probably spent a little bit more money than I needed to at some of the other places, the Targets and the other supermarkets. But I got some sushi, which I'm very excited for. I always try to find some sort of rice, and again, it's got, the sushi rice I think has a little sugar in it, so it's got some carbs, some quick carbs, some starchy carbs, a little bit of protein in there. I'm not too concerned about getting so much protein, but obviously I want to get some. But the main thing is kind of replenishing my glycogen, and that's going to be that's also going to help with hydration as well, and also making sure my suit fits properly. So that's going to be key. So that's it for now. I'm going to weigh in. We'll probably have some shenanigans of myself eating, and then on to lifting tomorrow.
What, that?
Some like it hot, Stevie. All right. So just weighed in officially at 218. We are at a very fancy taqueria. Got some meat and rice. So you can see my plate is empty, but you can see Steve's eating what I was eating. Joey had a nice burrito, so you can say hello. Joey and Steve are helping people with rack heights and all that stuff, which was great. Got to catch up and meet some of the big time lifters that I'll be going tomorrow. I'm excited now that kind of the key is getting the weight back up. I'm getting a little full, but I've been digesting pretty good. I had some sushi post weigh-in, just to get a little protein and carbs in. I had a banana. I've been sipping on Pedialyte as well as Noon Taps with water. Just getting my electrolytes back in, getting the water back up. So the goal will be try to get to around 235-ish by tonight, maybe a little bit more. So I got to pace myself. A lot of people eat too much too soon or drink too much too soon out of the gate. So it's really important that you kind of pace yourself. Right, Joey?
Nah. We're going all out. You'll be 260 by 3 o'clock today.
260. All right, we'll see. Maybe take some bets on that, too.
Got the cheeseburger diet. Cheeseburger refeed.
Yeah, and joking aside, I'm gonna be eating like fairly good today, but then we will definitely be at some point this weekend stopping at the Black Bear Diner. Definitely at some point this weekend, some In-N-Out. Just some treat meals here and there, but when it comes to the day before the meet, definitely want to fuel your body with good stuff, get those nutrients back in. So should probably do another update before bed. and then we'll go from there. Been just focusing on getting re-fed and recomped. I've been having a lot of, mostly carbohydrate, moderate amount of protein, low fat, so I can kind of speed up the digestion process. A lot of rice. Had some kind of low fat, kind of potato chips with minimal ingredients. Potatoes are actually a great source of potassium as well. Had some bananas. So I'm trying to get the combination of fructose, dextrose, and just kind of your normal carbohydrate. And had a little caffeine, just kind of things absorb a little faster. That's kind of the main stuff. And I did my first IV. So again, not everyone's had, and I used a professional, so that was all good, legit, and everything, and safe. We'll see how that goes. So I got some magnesium and calcium and some different minerals and a little bit, and I did a dextrose bag. So we'll see how that goes. My weight with my tank top and shorts on is about 235. So things are good. I'm hoping I hold on to as much water as possible. Been having a lot of noon tabs as well. Did a Pedialyte. Had about a gallon of water and a lot of noon tabs, like a whole tube. So sodium's also very high. Trying to retain as much water as possible. So we'll kind of see, what happens moving forward. I'm going to try and, if I can gain a few more pounds. The minimum goal was to kind of get to about 200 and losing my train of thought, 235 pounds, which I achieved that goal. If I can gain a few more pounds and stay at 235, that'd be ideal. 3, 2, 1. Guys, overall pretty happy with how squats went. Opener was, I think for the first time in my life, I got 3 white lights on my squats, which usually on one side my hip's a little fucked up, so one's a little higher than the other. But anyway, I did 738 in my first, smoked it, 777, which is a 7-pound increase from my last meet at 242. It's an all-time PR at this body weight. It's my my 5th squat over 700 in competition, which is pretty cool. I missed 804, very, very close, but I was happy with the effort. The knee wrap got a little fucked up on the last one. Stevie lost control of the wrap and wasn't really, the best wrap, and I kind of came up and dipped to one side a little funny, but whether it was the wrap or a technical error or a combination of both, regardless, I probably should have took 799, but I really wanted to squat 800 again. But now on to bench. So you win some, you lose some. I think I popped something in my biceps or rear delt, or front delt on my final bench. Warm-ups did not go well, so I ended up actually dropping my opener about 7.5 kilos originally. That was still not enough. First 2 attempts were close, but I didn't really have any tricep power to lock out. I actually missed a warm-up in the back room, so I'm not really sure what happened because squats felt really good, but potentially need to peak the bench a little bit different or do things a little bit different, but I'll give you a little bit more of an update once I kind of calm down a little bit. But for right now, it doesn't look like deadlifts are going to happen. Big fat bomb on the bench. But I was really happy with how squats went and how the training cycle went. You don't always get the result you want, but we got to continue to push forwards.
Come on, John, right up.
Down. So after some long thoughts and consideration, iced up my shoulder. Definitely hurt something in my delt, so I'm not going to do it with my bad arm, but my right arm, if I go into shoulder flexion, hurts quite a bit. I did some practice pulls with 135, and deadlifts did not hurt. So I just, told the front table, they allowed me to deadlift, which was nice. And, I wanted to I came all the way out to California to compete, and I wanted to kind of finish on a high note. And I think, it's important. I didn't want to, further damage myself. So if you're in a situation like this, probably, if I was coaching myself, truth be told, I'd probably pull myself out. But I warmed up a little earlier, just made sure things were fine, and it wasn't increasing the pain. So on to deadlifts. Opener went well. Second attempt went well. Ended up pulling 611. It was very fast, very smooth. It's more than I did in training, so I was happy about that. So I decided to kind of YOLO a little bit. I was gonna end up with if I was in a full meet, I probably would have ended maybe with how I was feeling and everything and how things were moving. I would have probably done something like 645-ish. Ended up going for 650, and it came up pretty smooth, but on my shoulder that was hurt, it kind of dipped down. So I ended up getting 3 reds. So I did pick it up. The strength was there, and 650 would have been nice. But that being said, I was really happy with how 611 moved. It's more than I did in training. Same thing with the squats. The heaviest I squatted in training was 750. I ended up 777 with a lot more in the tank. 804 was a very close miss. And then for the deadlifts, the heaviest I did in training was 605. That 611 moved like butter, and 650 was very close. And I think if my shoulder was not injured or hurt, whatever you want to call it, then I think the 650 would have went, possibly even 660, which was the ultimate goal going into the training cycle, going into the meet, excuse me. So all in all, 2 out of 3 lifts went well, so not too bad. I'm not really sure what happened on bench. To be honest, I handled over 495 to a reasonable range of motion, to one board or half board almost every single session. So for me to miss 468 3 times was very, very disappointing. The warm-ups were off. Everything was kind of off on the bench. I'm not really sure. I think it is possible. I did do a couple of extra workouts. I did the bench for boobs contest. That might have built up too much fatigue. And I know my final bench workout was some bench with bands. And that did feel off, but I figured, I'm just fatigued. I'll deload and whatnot. So I think I maybe need to take out that bench for boobs workout, or just do a speed day or something. But maybe one less heavy day, and then maybe one more shirted day closer to the meet. But I have to definitely peak differently on bench, because peaking went exceptionally well for squat and deadlift. Obviously, if you could do more at the meet than you did in a training cycle, then your peaking was good. So all in all, happy with how things went. But stay tuned for more. And thank you guys for watching along my journey. We'll do a little bit more of a recap once I kind of get my head out of my butt and all of that. But I really appreciate everyone that's kind of followed me along my journey. This was my first equipped meet at 220. Did not get a total, but squatted 777 and pulled 611. So I established some PRs at that body weight, and I had a lot of fun. And really thanks to Jesse Burdick, Slingshot, Mark Bell for putting the meet on, Katie Hogan, and everybody else, and especially Stevie and Joey, who flew out all the way from New York to help me out. Really grateful to have such great teammates, and it's really what it's all about. So you win some, you lose some, focusing on the positive, and then we still got work to do moving forward. So thank you for watching. Until next time, stay strong, and we'll see you soon.